If Reinforce was ever on The Price is Right, he would be the guy who bid $1 above or below you. Shame on you. Bren, what do you think?
I don't know what to say about this. The analyst test, they're chopping and choosing all over the place. You know, the predictions are probably going to be wrong. They all chose eUnited right before this. And what they got the C9 roster wrong as well, didn't they? They get everything wrong today, boys. You need to step it up. But next map we're going to be heading into will be Volskaya. As you can see, just says woo there. Good bit of hand movement there by me. But regardless of that, Volskaya, as a map, these teams, we've seen the Sombra play coming out by Cloud9. You know, we've seen Neptuno. We know Gray's a capable guy. We anticipating the same thing coming into this?
It'll be interesting to see what C9 comes out with here, where they probably will be having Neptuno and the Sombra and Gray flexing back because that's what both of these players are comfortable on now that they're both on the same team. But we'll have to see. I mean, we've seen new things, I think, every week here in Contenders Season 1, and I'm always on the lookout for teams to surprise us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right. Moving into this one, it's going to be Volskaya Industries, and predeterminedly, I believe. I mean, eUnited in the past are very big fans of the Sombra picks on Assault in general. Volskaya is one of the more perfect maps for it. We've seen it plenty games that have been occurring both yesterday and in the previous week. We saw Sombra coming out to play on both sections of Volskaya almost every single time. And it's interesting because a sort of little meta game develops, doesn't it? Especially when it comes to the second checkpoint. Teams like to sort of gain control of the Mega Health Pack to the right of the point, and they try and really lock it down. But here's Gray. And he's got the default spray. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it just works. So.
And I think what we can make out of this here is that because they're running a Lucio Sombra composition as opposed to, say, a Zenyatta with a Sombra or an Ana with a Sombra, that's why you're seeing this right now, where Neptuno is more comfortable on the Lucio, and Gray, this is where he does have a very good Sombra on Volskaya. So nothing here really is too surprising, I would say.
Yep, standard comms coming out by Cloud9 as well. As we see, they're going to be going with that double hit scan that got unfixed. Whoa, no, they're not going to run this out, surely. I just looked at the players that are running these roles, and I was like, Unfixed is not going to be running soldiers, surely. It'll be Cruz on the Genji? They're going to, they're baiting me. Come on.
Nope, it's happening.
Doing it. Okay.
Cruz is on the Diva, which he may or may not be super happy about, but that is what he is on, and it's going to be unfixed on the 76, providing the DPS power here for eUnited. So this is going to be a lot of pressure here on unfixed to really be protected and deal damage in this case. So meanwhile, C9 in on the defense, but Valtai is in the back here once more. They don't see him.
Yeah, he's just got a bit of cap time onto the point as it stands, and still the initial pick was in the way of Cloud9. They might actually pick up another one as it stands, but I just want to talk about the composition here because, I mean, the double hit scan is actually really smart in this fight when you're playing against a Sombra. You need that burst damage to try and bring him down when he comes out. The Helix Rocket provides that, but Gray already building up this EMP. He's already got it standing. He's just waiting for the right opportunity to use it.
Well, here's an interesting thing for Unfixed. He has 77%, but the EMP comes out and Gray gets punished for it. The follow through off the EMP not immediately there, and now Unfixed, almost building up that attack visor, has really good positioning to use it, and will he throw it in immediately? He does. Unfixed, dropping with the visor, immediately guns down Neptuno. Plenty of space now as eUnited can just saunter onto the point.
Yeah, at this point, it's almost an eventuality that they're going to be trying to cap this one, but Nemix, if he's got anything to say about it, they want to turn it around. The Dragon Blade now looking for the opportunities. He brings down Boombox initially, Sinatra with the follow-up, and goodness gracious me, man, they have actually successfully defended this one for the time being. Malu's still just creeping and crawling into the back, but he does get taken down by Gray.
That was a really good double strike from Sinatra and Nevix. Came in at the same time, a blade on one side, a tracer on the other, and now Sinatra has a bomb set up where he can just dive into the back, land a pulse bomb, and delay eUnited even more. We'll see how C9 decides to play this, but so far eUnited has lost quite a bit of time.
eUnited need to be super careful with their sound barrier timing here because Gray's got the EMP. If they mistime this, what is going on? There's explosions all over the place, but it doesn't even matter. Cloud9, they picked up 2 kills apiece. Unfixed will also fall, and Sinatra's just making mincemeat of the enemy team there in the flank. And again, another successful defense by the side of Cloud9.
And it wasn't the finishing blow there, but Sinatra laid in the pulse bomb to the back line and was his own fall through immediately after. So C9 able to delay eUnited when they had both support ultimates up. This is where eUnited was just looking for good positioning before executing. C9 intercepted them before they could get those support ultimates layered, and now they have to fight against an EMP and the sound barrier. eUnited might have lost the window. Here we go.
Something's used early on here by the side of eUnited, but they do pick up the kill onto Nevix. Now Gray still holding on to his EMP, does commit it in the end, and he wants to try and take out this fight early and justly right now. You see Cruz with the self-destruct picking up Ray in the midst of it. 2 picks already going away. eUnited lays down the pulse bomb, but won't find any kills apiece, but still, they are definitely coming in for this with an advantage. Almost every ultimate they would use there by eUnited to try and secure this point up.
Interesting stuff here, because C9 so far has actually had a lot of trouble converting off of their EMPs, where that's a case where Gray did hold C9's destiny in his hands there, and eUnited, they got in a little bit early, they caught Gray off guard, and C9 wasn't able to get one of those classic EMPs where you immediately just wipe everyone right after. So good stuff from eUnited, and now we see the swap from D.Va to a Reaper, but no D.Va in play at all for eUnited.
This is crazy stuff. I mean, I recognize the Reaper pick here. Well, post-bomb by Sinatra doesn't quite connect on what he was looking for. Well, he might actually fall here. Forced to pop up the Primal Rage as a result of it. He was about to fall. I don't know if that's a bit of a waste, but Sinatra is trying to clutch it out for his team. He does bring down Shaq, and the rest of his team is there with the defense. But if I just go back to this Reaper pick here, this Reaper point, I can understand it. When you're running against a Sombra, you want something that can effectively do damage and also heal, which, you know, Hack doesn't prevent.
The thing is that I understand why you would go for the Reaper here, but the problem is that Sinatra has been so oppressive all series long. D.Va is one of the few heroes you can put out there to somewhat contain Sinatra and not let him get what he wants immediately. And although, that's another way of doing it. Just kill Sinatra when he deep dives a little bit too far. Bren, eUnited now has a window here.
No, they do, but Gray ends up going in with the EMP here. Tactical Visor being used by Umpix. He didn't actually get caught by the Hack, and he is going to be using it to try and defend this one out. But this forward aggression by Cloud9 is going to be playing into their favor here. Even though the kills are going into eUnited, Cloud9 are going to start to respawn here and come back into this fight.
Perhaps, but C9 now doesn't have an EMP. eUnited knows that they have a window to move in where they're not going to get EMP'd, so we'll see how this works out. The problem is it's very difficult for eUnited to protect themselves here. They have to get the first kill and really snowball it out, otherwise they're just not going to have the power they need. Now they use the best of Transcendence, but it's going to be met by the sound barrier.
Here we have it. They use the Samurai, as you mentioned there. Nevix using his own Dragon Blade to see if he can get any kills, and indeed he does. 2 into the back lines will hopefully secure this defense now for Cloud9 as they find absolutely everyone with the exception of Boombox. He eventually topples to his own little death there in the valleys of Volskaya. Is it the valleys? Is it a river? Who knows?
I mean, it's supposed to be a pond of ice water, but we know there's not actually water there, so it's actually a vast abyss.
Yeah. It's just a vast abyss of ice, but here is Nevix playing up for his team there. And again, great play by him into the back. But just to go back to Cruz on this Reaper here, ZP, because I can understand the thought process with the hacks and whatnot, but Unfix not running the D.Va, this is detrimental for them.
It's very difficult, where it puts a lot of pressure on them to get the first kill early on. Cruz, under pressure off the EMP, has to back out and is simply forced out, where better engagements have been coming in from C9 every time. And part of the reason for that is that if eUnited gets jumped on, they don't really have the ability to defend themselves. It's just Sharik with the Winston barrier here, and I don't know. I'm not convinced with the Reaper play so far here from eUnited.
I mean, I feel like they were hesitant to switch Unfixed off the Soldier 76 because he had an ultimate advantage, but that's just nonsense. If you're getting wrecked because you don't have a D.Va, you just switch regardless if you've got an ult or not. But right now, eUnited, they built up a whole slew of ultimates, but so did Cloud9 on this defense. How are they going to approach this? Valu waiting, creeping, crawling. Nevix will spot him. He's got that pulse bomb in hand. The kills are being traded equally here.
Well, with Unfix going down, that means Voltalia is the main power here with Cruz, but you just saw from C9 that they picked eUnited apart enough where eUnited feels a need to back up and regroup. I guess what we're seeing right now from eUnited is that it's too late for them to really switch. They're investing to have one major ultimate push, and this might be it here, Bren, where they really go in and invest everything for this push.
And there you have it. Cruz has just been holding on to this Death Blossom for God knows how long. He's looking for the opportunities to work off his Shaq. Moves in with his own Primal Rage, creating a bit of space for him off on the point. Cruz weak, has to back off, get those heals. Now the Sound Barrier initiates in. Cloud9 also going to be meeting them head on.
The barrier is in. eUnited is all in right now in this team fight. They're investing every ultimate. The Nano Boost is out. It might be on Cruz right now. Cruz is deep diving in, holding on to the Death Blossom here for now. Able to get on the Sinatra, and so far eUnited is doing pretty well here so far. Now Cruz holding to the back, has Death Blossom at the ready, but Unfixed is down, Sharik is down, and Nevix is wreaking havoc with the Dragon Blade in the back.
Goodness me, that self-destruct coming out there by Cloud9 on the defense has just brought so much space for them. Cruz, he was waiting around the corner. He could have used that opportunity to try and at least go for the kill there onto space before he could essentially get back into his mech. But again, the opportunity was lost, and 30 seconds ZP on the clock here for them to secure this. They haven't even got a single tick.
And what we've been seeing from C9 is that they're more than willing to throw either Nevix or Sinatra onto Unfixed and stop him from doing anything. It's been a very quiet second part of this full sky so far for Unfixed, and oh my goodness, the aggression in from C9, diving right in. Cruz spinning the win it, doesn't get too much off it, but Nevix and Neptuno are going to fall from the overall pressure from United, so they might have one final opportunity here, Bren, as we lead in to the final 3 seconds.
The point gets contested here. We see Sinatra trying his hardest to try and defend this one out for them. EMP is going to connect onto a few. Will it be enough to try and bring them down? You notice Nevix has made the last minute switch to Doomfist as well. He brings down Boombox. Valor still holding onto this post bomb. Going to be trying to see if he can find any kills. Overtime just ticking down here. Finally, will they be able to get a tick on the board? They're finding the picks off the back of it. 4 times on the point. It's ticking upwards and upwards and upwards. Do they have the damage done here, ZP, to bring down the remaining players?
C9 has put themselves in a bit of a bind. Now they have to hope to get an early pickoff, powered by Sinatra, but not going to happen. Shut down by Unfixed here in overtime. Every kill going the way of eUnited, and with no time left remaining, they will finish out the map.
No crucial moment there was Boombox again switching to Doomfist in the final moment so he could get back into the fray, and they will actually manage to get that second checkpoint.
The interesting thing to me here, though, is that Cloud9 actually gave that one away to an extent where C9, they were doing perfectly okay, holding in the back. All they needed to do was simply defend the final push like they were defending the other pushes, but I feel like they got a little bit greedy. They thought they could have finished it off right then and there by holding eUnited off the point. They abandoned their good defensive positioning, fought eUnited out in the open field, and actually gave eUnited that great opportunity towards the end, because up to that point, eUnited was not doing well in trying to get through the normal way.
You're absolutely right there, yeah. It was a risky maneuver going for the forward spawn maneuver. But regardless of that, now we're going to see different compositions kicking off for both these teams. Cloud9, again, they're going to be on the attacking side this time, switching it around. eUnited on the defense. No surprises with Cruz. Is this early lock-in for the Sombra. eUnited are a team that do like to put Cruz on the Sombra, keep those double supports so they're not left with particularly an ult disadvantage when it comes to defending last. And Cloud9, we have seen this before them. We have seen the solo support. Are they going to be pulling it out again?
They very well could be right now, where it'd be interesting, but we saw it on an attack before. Why not pull it out on an attack again? The other thing that gives me a little bit of pause here for eUnited is that objectively, Sinatra has been outplaying Voltalia here, and even getting the better of Unfixed when Unfixed has been on Diva. When you run double support and a Sombra, you're putting a lot of pressure on your Tracer player to just play incredibly well. I don't know if Voltalia has the edge over Sinatra that he needs here to have this eUnited setup work really well, but I guess we'll have to see.
That's true. Sombra does provide a lot of benefits when you're running against the traditional dive that sort of Cloud9 are going for with the Diva and the Winston. In fact, you hack up the Diva, she's just a walking potato, you know, just feeding your ultimates off of her. But we see Cloud9 rolling out, seeing they can get done great again on the Doomfist, looking for that initial pick.
This is high-octane stuff here from C9. This fight will either be over quickly in their favor or over quickly against them. Either way, it ends fast, and it's gonna end very well for C9. Both supports deleted into the back, and it's all but over here already.
Yeah, losing those 2 plays, or 3 plays I should say, is going to be crucial now. As we see Cloud9, it is just clean-up duty for them. They find the follow-up players, they find the rest of these kills, and it will be the cap going their way. Now, one thing to note here is going to be the ultimate situation coming into this. Cruz does almost have this EMP of his own built up. That's going to be useful for this next defense, assuming he wants to stick with the Sombra. We don't actually know that yet. I'm presuming so, as Sombra is effective on this last point of Volskaya anyway. But Cloud9 have got stuff to work with as well. They've got Sinatra, he's almost got his own pulse bomb. Gray is going to make the switch here to Sombra in the last moment.
The scary thing right now for eUnited is if Sinatra is able to get an early pickoff here, Cruz's EMP isn't going to be as effective as it otherwise would. EMP is great at even numbers or better, but if you feel that you're forced onto it from an early pick, yeah, this is the backup squad here. Gray and Sinatra moving into the back, and no, doesn't connect.
Yeah, that's why you've got your Lucio play to peel for you there. Still, they want to go onto the back lines. They want to bring down Boombox, for the heals are definitely there. The peel is there as well. There will be Unfixed, who does save his life in the end. We now see, again, more swaps happening here before our very eyes. Space switching to the Soldier. Sinatra onto the Zarya. Cloud9 going for a completely different approach with this attack.
So C9, the momentum they had out of first, now a bit wilted. eUnited gets a chance for a full reset here. They have EMP outs, they have Pulse Bomb outs, and now we'll see how C9 decides to attack. But bear in mind for C9, they do have to full complete this as eUnited did, so it's not just one tick or anything like that. They do have to find a way through in the next 5 minutes.
Cloud9 end up getting this second checkpoint. It is almost certainly going to be over there for eUnited. And still look at this damage snatcher on the Zarya. Not particularly high energy, but still going to be putting in a decent amount of work. Now Cruz wants to initiate in. EMP was popped off. And the kills will flow in favor of eUnited here. Nevix just says goodbye and spends himself into the murky depths there of Volskaya.
Nevix just wanted a good healing ice bath with his good buddy. That's what was going on there. It wasn't them falling to the abyss. They just wanted some R&R. But
I mean, that doesn't seem like a very pleasant dip, to be honest. I mean, that's icy water, icy cold water.
People in northern areas enjoy that. I've seen people in Minnesota ice bath, like, in the wintertime. I don't know why, but now C9, they have an opportunity to use an EMP when eUnited doesn't have that, Bren. This is pretty good for C9.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got the ults to use alongside it as well. It's worth mentioning the Neptuno, the sound barrier. We're waiting for this one. Gray ends up actually, that's so smart, using the EMP just on Boombox to bring him down early into this fight. That's almost excellent value coming out for that.
It's very good, and now Nevix looking to pile on. The Dragon Blade is out, but the self-destruct will zone him out. The Blade now getting put away towards the end, and he's not able to finish off the Diva. So Unfixed just bought eUnited a lot of breathing room from the big cannon of Cloud9.
That could have been a completely different story. Cloud9, they took out Boombox early. In most situations, that seems to be the win condition for Cloud9 in a lot of these fights. If they take out Boombox early enough, suddenly they have enough advantage to try and make stuff happen. But now, again, more switches. Nevix moving over to the Doomfist. Again, is it the one-shot potential? Is that what they were missing in this composition, CT? Is that what Cloud9 needs to secure this checkpoint?
I think one-shot potential is pretty good on Assault maps in last to begin with, because anytime you can set up a clean 65, which is when everyone's at full HP and you have the man advantage, your odds of turning that into a snowball are big. And frankly, for C9, their previous attempts haven't worked, so why not throw in the Doomfist? For now, though, they're taking it slow, but Cruz comes in with the EMP.
EMP going to be cutting Nevix off mid-leap there. Definitely going to be finding the kills off the back of this one. Space trying to use his tactical visor to find the kills, but the relocate was there by Valu, and he picks up the double kill to help his team out in the end. Now still, Cloud9 looking to try and attack this one, but Maldoza realizes it's all futile. And again, another dip, another cold dip into the Volskaya lake. Is it a lake? Is it a river? We'll never know.
It actually is industrial waste. That's the real sad story there. You think that's ice? Think again. But now the problem for C9 is that Cruz has gotten into a groove here. 78% will have EMP up for this next fight in all likelihood with how quick he's building it. This creates a problem for C9 where they're getting EMP on almost every push.
Does build that quickly. You can have it up for almost every single fight, but you see Cloud9, they've initiated it. Mozaza is on the back line, so he's shielded up temporarily, and Sinatra has finally built up this Graviton Surge. He needs to be careful, doesn't want it to get 8 up there by Unfixed. Valu finding an entry with the Pulse Bomb as well. Now the Transcendence committed. eUnited trying to prolong this out with those 2 picks. Cloud9 most certainly going to be backing off from this. They don't want to be taking this fight.
They're backing out, and the really good part there for eUnited is that they get to hold on to the EMP, which of course C9 at this point can safely assume is up. So C9, you think about their engagement options here. They can't engage with the sound barrier because then Cruz just rips them right off. Neptuno must hide and hold the sound barrier until the EMP hits, so he can't hit that button early.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you don't really want to raw nano boost in, you want to have that well protected, nor do you want to throw in a grab when everyone gets EMP'd. So C9's in this mind games now where they have to put eUnited in a situation where they have a bad EMP, which is easier said than done.
Oh, here we have it. They're waiting for the opportune time against Sinatra. Does not want to be throwing away this Graviton. He's worked hard to try and build this one up, and Unfixed Defense Matrix is just the right tool for the job to try and get rid of that one. And still the rotation's coming around. Cruz ends up falling. This is pretty big for them now as they're moving in. The Sandbar will be committed with Cruz down. No EMP to try and negate that one. The Graviton Surge. Is it going to connect? It does only onto Sharek, though. Finding the kill. The self-destruct by Gray will bring him down.
That was the best person they could have gotten. Cruz was the key to victory here for C9, but Cruz is back out. The EMP comes in. I don't know if C9 has done enough damage here off of the 65 opportunity where they weren't EMP'd, and no, they are thrown out. They have thrown away their best opportunity to take this map. You rarely get opportunities that golden.
That was a bit lackluster. Sinatra went for the Graviton Surge. I think he thought he was going to be connecting more players than he actually did. Only finding Shaq with the Primal Rage, not enough damage to try and bring him down. And now we do see Gray making the swap to the Ana here. You need these high impact heroes, these high impact sort of heroes that you can rely on without no ultimates, because this is most likely going to be one of the last final pushes. Here, Sleep Dart misses on Cruz. Cruz, that was ballsy, man. He was playing in the back lines. That could have been dangerous.
but the reward for playing dangerous is that he almost has another EMP up. C9, though, they know time is not on their side. Final minute here as they dive in and work to get in, but it's going to be met by the Transcendence. eUnited diving back into them, and yet 5-on-5 right now. C9 is actually handling this reasonably well. Nevix in the backline gets his man, and out of nowhere, C9 might have created for themselves a really good chance. Oh no, Valtaya, the damage!
Valutaya, what is that, man? Just to secure it, you think Cloud9 are turning this one around, you think they've got it in the bag, but no. Whips out the post bomb, picks up the free K. Fantastic work all around, and now Cloud9, they're in panic mode. They have got to get back onto this point. They've only got 19 seconds left.
19 seconds, that is the tale of what's going on, and this is where Cruz can really use EMP the maximum value here, where he can drop the EMP on the sound barrier, because Neptuno's going to feel pressured to open up the barrier here. It's only 5 seconds, they have to roll in. Cruz can really make this easy here for eUnited. We'll see how it goes. C9 moving in.
Sinatra, he needs to get a big grab. They get the entry onto Cruz again. No more EMP. That is critical. Sinatra still holding on to the grab, waiting for it. And Anabus will be committed down to Moses as they try and bring down the follow-on players. The overtime ticking down. They've already got about 50% and counting. The kills are flowing. Still the grab is held on. Sinatra is just waiting for the appropriate opportunity. They're finding it. It's 3 picks. Cruz with the EMP into the final moments here. Is it enough, CP?
No, it's not enough here so far. Not in the least. He can't die early like that. He opened the door for C9, and we still have a match here. That is ridiculous. The only thing eUnited needed there was for Cruz to not be the first person picked off, and Nevix found him, punished him, and kicked the door wide open.
What a ridiculous match all around. And this scoreline between these two teams is, you know, it seems close. I mean, both teams are going to be getting a map point here, but goodness gracious me, that is ridiculous stuff for both these teams. You know, we were expecting it to be a bit of a roll. I was talking to the analysts in the car today. We were thinking, you know, eUnited, they've had time to prep. They've had time to work it out. They've had time to work out their issues because they had players away at the World Cup, the Overwatch World Cup. And now, moving into this, C9, they've just made these last-minute roster moves, and it's just fit together so nicely.
It worked out really, really well. And also from Nevix, we saw some surprising versatility where he was able to come out on the Doomfist and have some very good moments there. So bravo to Nevix for getting that crucial pick where maybe Cruz was out of position, maybe not. Maybe Nevix just saw a really good opportunity.
I love the amount of flexibility we're seeing in all of these players today as well, especially the Doomfist coming out to play, the Sombra compositions, the solo support compositions. You know, it's the stuff that I was dreaming of coming into this with Doomfist being available, because he just opens up so many different ways to play the game that we just haven't seen in such a long time.
Alrighty, so we do have a replay coming up here. Perhaps enlighten us as to what happened there. Here's Cruz. He's invisible. Let's look for Nevix. Nevix, this is the heroics that happened, and out of nowhere, a random fist.
It's filthy.
Finds Cruz. You know what? We've both hung out with Cruz here, Bren.
Yeah.
What do you think his reaction was to that?
Probably not fit for broadcast. Let's put it that way. I tell you now, because these picks that Nevix was getting on Cruz time and time again to negate the EMP there, that, like you mentioned, it's critical in winning them and getting them that final checkpoint time and time again. I mean, goodness me. I mean, you got to feel for the guy. You got to feel for him.
No, actually, I'm not. All I'm feeling right now is laughter, because Cruz is hilarious when things go wrong for him, and just getting thrown out of stealth by the random fist of Nevix. Well,
yeah.
Ouch.
Throws you off tilt a little bit there, doesn't it? But goodness me, yeah, that was a ridiculous game, and it's something that nobody was really predicting coming into this because of eUnited's performance in the previous week, and Cloud9 having a swap. You know, you'd think that they'd be performing worse. They haven't had time to practice together, but clearly that was not the case.
You know what the greatest part about this, though, with the draw where both teams get a point?
What's that?
The analyst desk is wrong.
That's true, yes.
They're all wrong. They're all wrong.
Woo.
Feels
all
good.
Wrong. My goodness, yeah. But regardless of that, I believe we're waiting to get into Watchpoint Gibraltar. Is that the next map here that we're waiting for?
Gibraltar, I believe, will be the next map. At least that's what it looks like right now.
Okay, it is Gibraltar that we're going to be heading into. Gibraltar's a map, so, I mean, is it the previous team that lost the previous map? So this would be eUnited's pick, right? Because they lost against Ondumbani. Right, so it's going to be eUnited's pick. Funnily enough, I remember way back when eUnited were playing against Rogue at the Takeover 2 LAN event, and they picked it against Rogue. That was just dumb. In this case, do you think that the Gibraltar pick is a big one here? Do you think this is going to be suitable for eUnited to clinch out a map?
Well, for eUnited, I mean, they are comfortable in Gibraltar. It is a map where it's not quite the level of comfort that they have in Numbani, but they still have liked playing on it over time, and it's where you would see from them historically where they would hold hangar phase, where they'd throw, say, Unfixed onto the Soldier, have Voltalia really distracting from the back. But it does feel like eUnited's standard game plans have not been working out quite as well for them, both on week 1, but also now here on week 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It's honestly interesting to see because eUnited as a team coming into this, we've mentioned it over and over again. They were expected to be the top seed in this event, and the performance has been lackluster. Whether you can blame that on the recent Overwatch World Cup, the fact that they haven't been getting the practice in where necessary, who knows? You know, really, you need to speak to the members of the team to find out the nitty-gritty details.
All right, Watch Point Gibraltar is where we will be finishing out the series, but it is worth noting with C9 getting a point on the last map that this series will be going to them. So eUnited will officially be opening out week 2 at 0-2. Not what people expected from eUnited coming in.
Absolutely, yeah. This is honestly a ridiculous turnaround because everyone was expecting eUnited to sort of turn up, step it up a little bit, but Cloud9 just coming in left wing. Nobody was expecting this. I mean, you know, I watched the Mayweather fight last night, and you know, you kind of expect that, but this is just something else entirely. I mean, Cloud9 coming out swinging and not letting up at all.
After watching that fight, I just want Doomfist to be renamed to Hammer Fist as he hits people on the back of the head. That's what I would love to see.
Give him a McGregor skin, you know, the Irishman, tattooed Irishman skin.
Yes, that needs to happen now. I feel like the stage has been set.
Let's do it. I'd buy it. I'd buy tons of copies of it.
Oh, you're just a loot box addict. We already established this.
Yeah. I've been so disappointed because I've been here. I haven't had access to a computer, so I haven't been able to buy loot boxes. I haven't been able to get the summer skins, you know.
Blizzard, please let this man give you his money. But now we look here to the defense. C9 opening up with a pretty standard defense here for Gibraltar. Really reminiscent of the dive comps we've been seeing in recent times. But they are running on Zen instead of running a Lucio here, so a slight variation.
It is indeed a slight variation. It's a very sort of defensive composition because you still want to rely on the Disc Orb for the aggression, but you still want the superior heals. And you can run it on this first checkpoint of Gibraltar. There's a lot of high ground to sort of utilize with the whatnot, but they need to be careful because eUnited's game plan here, their win condition is essentially just jumping onto the support. There's no Lucio to try and peel for them, which means if you pick up the supports, which is actually very easily done with eUnited's composition, could be game over for this first checkpoint.
Although it is worth noting, though, with C9 is that they're not running a Lucio, but they can stand and fight a little bit more convincingly. It's scary for Voltalia to dive into both an Ana and a Zen. That's a lot of ways to die in that situation. So Voltalia, who's already getting checked by Sinatra somewhat, does have to run the obstacle course to get early pickoffs here at the United.
Rotating around, I should say, through the server room, searching for an opportunity. Neptuno is spotted and the damage is done. He's going to be falling. A good entry pickoff for them. They followed up with the rest of them, and again, they just fall like dominoes at this point with both the supports down. As the cornerstones of your composition just gone.
Really good stuff there from United, where not only did they have a coordinated dive that got rid of both supports pretty much at the same time, but fireworks, Malzasa. It's not 4th of July. You don't have to explode yourself like that. But eUnited now, great position to move this right in the second. C9, though, looking like they might want to contest, but this is scary. This could backfire very badly if C9 isn't careful.
Searching, definitely so. eUnited moving in with this Transcendence. Seems to try and secure it out in the end. I don't know if the Transcendence was necessary there. I think they thought like the players were coming in. Mozilla could still try and stall this out with a Primal Rage. In fact, there we have it. He tries to pop it off, but all of his teammates are just dying around him here. So at the back of my mind, all I'm thinking is a bit of a wasted ult.
Well, it's a little bit worse than that because the way Malzasa used Primal Rage there, it was give 1,000 damage worth of ultimate to the enemy team. eUnited now gets to recharge on ultimates and even get some staggering here on the C9. This is a disaster for C9 so far.
This is a struggle for them. I mean, Cloud9, they've got 2 support ults to boot with this one, eUnited. They've been rotating them around. You know, Boombox, he did use his Transcendence recently in that last fight, but he's already built it up to about 60%. And essentially the win condition. Again, eUnited, they're going to be searching for these supports because if they take them out early without getting that Transcendence, without getting that Nano Boost off on the side of Cloud9, it's pretty much a victory. But here we have it, ZP, the Nano Boost onto Malzasa.
C9 right now looking for any semblance of stability, but they're getting pincered right now. Attacks on both ends. Cruz, though, diving a little bit too far. The coordination for United a little bit lacking, and with both Cruz and Boombox out, United, they've had enough. The pincer attack not actually working out for them there.
Yeah, it was a cutesy play. You can't fault them on it because in most scenarios it does work out for them. But again, superior ult advantage on the side of Cloud9 meant that they could use the Transcendence by Neptuno. And with the superior heals, they're just going to win that fight outright. But important to note now, 3.5 minutes here for eUnited to make something happen. And they've got both of their support ults. Cruz has a Dragon Blade and a self-destruct by Unfix to force the positioning.
Sinatra answered the call back in Nambani, but this would be a great time for a pulse up pickup. There it is! On to Morta. Just as I'm in the middle of the setup, he's able to get the pick off, and that's going to delay United and buy some really good time for C9.
Sinatra falling though with the superior spawn advantage. They move in. And what is that? Unfixed. Double kill with the self-destruct. He finds the picks, but that's exactly what eUnited were looking for in this. Now Cloud9 on the defense have to back off space, trying to basically stagger this out for as long as he possibly can, but it will get rolled in. Are Cloud9 going to get an opportunity to contest this?
We'll have to see. They lost not one, but both supports that are unfixed, saying to C9, you don't get to heal. And with Sinatra going down, the tail now has gotten even grimmer. eUnited in a great position. They are not only pushing C9 away from the payload right now, but they're getting every entry kill as C9 tries to move in through these tight doorways.
Indeed, they're finding picks here and there. Going to be trading quite evenly as it stands. Now the soundbar going to be used by eUnited, seeing if they can roll it forward. Cruz is still holding on to his own Dragon Blade as well, so this could actually be a successful attack for them if they choose to use the ult, but it looks like they're finding the picks without them. Mozaza is just delaying with his own Primal Rage, and he is the last man standing, the last monkey standing, I should say. And it should be the point being in their favor. Once again, eUnited just pushing it in, waiting for the final players. As much as I'm saying this, finally, there you have it. The second checkpoint goes that way.
I think the first bit of stall there wasn't too bad, but the last bit of stall was not enough time bought for the ultimate being fed that United were. Once more, United has a pretty decent advantage heading into this next fight. The thing they're lacking are support ultimates, but there's a good opportunity for not only Unfixed to lob the self-destruct over the top, but also for Cruz to come in on this flanking position and just bring the blade down.
He's waiting patiently, he has it in hand. Looking, creeping, crawling around the corners, looking for it. Tactical Visor sent out by Nevix. Now Cruz wants to unleash the blade, but the Nano Booster's there. Gray with the Kobe grenade brings him down. Did Cruz end up losing the Dragon Blade? Yes, he did. It did not get refunded.
Well, we found the opposite of Cruz's Dragon Blade from the body. That, whatever that was. That was not a great Dragon Blade coming in there from Cruz. And eUnited, though they had a bit of an edge coming in from second, now they're going to have to reset a bit. They still are not in a bad spot here, so we'll see if they can win this on mechanical play, but it was definitely an opportunity lost.
Cloud9 playing quite aggressively around this corner. Again, just poking and prodding. Morello has the pulse bomb in hand. Here's the initiation now. We see them. eUnited looking to take it straight to the fight, right in their faces. eUnited moving in the self-destruct kill onto Gray. They picked up so many kills off the back of its space. Again, last man standing, tries to stagger out the point, will get demexed, but he's brought down in a flash here. Picard will continue to move forward here, ZP, and eUnited, they've got stuff to work with. They've got the support odds, they've got values, pulse bomb, they got the lot.
They have a lot to work with here. The one thing that could buy C9 valuable time though is Mozaza. Almost has the Primal Rage up. Nevix blown up here by Voltalia, but Voltalia goes down as well. Now C9, they've built up their ultimates and they have the tools they need to buy some time there at Gibraltar. Mozaza gonna unleash the beast, and eUnited might have overplayed their hand a bit.
Space, he sends out the self-destruct, just bring down Cruz in the midst of it. That's not going to save you. The Transcendence was used to try and counteract it, but the players are falling. A minute and a half left. Shark trying to stall out this with the Primal Rage. Picks up the kill onto Gray. Unfixed as well. Rotating around, but they need to focus down the support. Neptuno needs to be brought down because the sustain far too strong on the side of Cloud9, and Unfixed getting demeked there. That's not great. Are they going to try and stall him out? Oh, he almost got slept that.
Well, he had the inside track to the cliff there, so Unfixed knew what he was doing, and that was falling off to reset. However, Bren, we have the final minute upon us here. eUnited not really working with much in the way of resources. They can't really reliably expect either Transcendence or a barrier here. This is going to be difficult. It will rely on Cruz to really get the better of C9 on this next play.
This is definitely going to be the Cruz show as they initiate in. Dragon Blade pulled out, goes for Gray, misses the first swipe. In fact, it's going to be Nevix who counteracts it. Boombox is fallen. They do get the demech, however, but in the back lines they're getting absolutely ravaged. I think that was a boostio in the final moments. Neptuno was going mental in the back. 30 seconds remaining. Cloud9 are falling, but they still have players on the point. Unfixed backing off. He realizes they need to regroup if they want any chance.
Neptuno is very passionate about sharing his music. I don't blame him. Sometimes you need the boost. And the reason why the boost came in, Gray now swapping to the Zenyatta. C9 with the tools needed to stop eUnited from a final attempt, but unfixed. He's had some good self-destructs this map here so far. If he could land a good one over the top, that could give eUnited a bit of life yet.
Sends it out, but he doesn't find any kills. In fact, it is going to be Cloud9 in the back lines. They're taking the fight straight to them. The overtime taken over. Cruz tries to go for the back cap attempt. Almost gets it, but is going to get brought down. The overtime finally going to be falling down, burning down to a crisp. And I believe Boombox, he makes the last minute switch here to Soldier 76 to try and get into the fight, but it's not going to be good enough. eUnited will only get 2 checkpoints, taking it a decent way, but Cloud9 finalizing it out with a successful defense.
C9 looking good, to say the least. They are able to stop eUnited's momentum on last, where they did recover themselves a bit on last. The beginning got somewhat tough for them, so...
Got my me just dressing my blazer up again as we were coming back to us. We've got to pause, guys. We've got to pause. But that was an impressive display, I think, by Cloud9, if anything, because that was eUnited's map's pick. It needs to be stated that they were choosing to take them to it. And although they pushed it a decent way, they didn't push it the whole way.
The other thing that we saw there, too, which is the mark of better teams in general, is that C9 was able to find their footing, where oftentimes when you get rolled through first and second, it's difficult for a team to come back from that mentally.
Yeah.
But C9, they were able to find a way back into that. They sort of recovered. They got back into their game, which is, of course, Sinatra being a threat in the back. And really, probably the best game we've seen from Nevix here so far, where Nevix on the Genji was able to break a lot of those pushes towards the end. He's
actually been surprising me quite a deal, because Nevix, not to say that he wasn't performing in the previous weeks, but he's never really held a candle to sort of other players, other Genji players especially, but he has been turning up especially. I wonder if part of that is because he's had Sinatra to back him up almost and carry a bit of the burden that he was trying to basically relay for his team.
Well, that always helps. When you have a threat like Sinatra, you're going to prioritize dealing with him more than you do some of the other players. So, yeah, Sinatra there is helping out. And personally, I'm happy to see Nevix doing well, just because, random bit of trivia, Nevix was the first player that I ever casted at Overwatch. It was a practice scrim before the first weekly back in the day. It was me and Hex casting it, so Nevix has a special place in both of our hearts.
Man, oh man. Well, the reason where you're staring at our 2 ugly mugs is because there is a player disconnected for the time being, waiting for him to restart his PC. Once we get back into that, the game will begin again, and we'll be diving straight into this. In fact, speaking of, we're back into it regardless. So, here we have it. Do you know about Winston's to-do list?
I do know about Winston's to-do list, and I know that he says order more peanut butter, but he delays on it, and he goes into primal rage when he doesn't have his peanut butter. That's actually
I've seen that, yeah.
That's a true secret. Of course, he's also just squatting here, which is really a crime.
I mean, he was part of Overwatch. He's allowed to sit here.
Yeah, but Overwatch is disbanded. This base is no longer Overwatch's. He has no right to live here.
He's flying the flag. He can get away with it. He's claimed the territory. That's how we used to do it, at least in the days of the British Empire. We just stuck a flag in it and just claimed it.
What I've learned here is that do not leave your houses abandoned in front of Bren. He will squat in your house until you remove him.
Yeah, mate, if you've got no flag on it, it's you know, it's free claims. It's mine. But composition, let's talk about that. That's the name of the game. As the teams start to roll out here, eUnited only getting 2 checkpoints.
eUnited, now we have to see what they have for their defensive chops here. And again, we sort of referenced it in the beginning, but historically they've done well when they've had Voltalia being a big threat into the back and Unfixed able to have plenty of space on the top. The issue here, though, is that they are running this triple DPS defense, which means that they're not going to have the defensive power in the back to really stop Sinatra and Nevix as much. It's going to put a lot of extra pressure on both Boombox and Morta to be their own defense here.
That's true. They are meeting it head-on, however. It's not like they're running it into Diva, so to speak. Both teams are going for this hyper-aggressive composition with the triple DPS. The only difference is being Boombox is on the Ana. As expected, on the defensive side, it's probably the most common flex support role you can pick, simply because we've already mentioned it, the superior positioning. You can play onto the high ground, you can lay down the heals, and you've got the bio grenade to support as well.
All right, so C9 right now moving out on the attack. eUnited not being too aggressive here to begin with, just Cruz probing for a little bit of extra ult charge. Takes some damage in turn, but is able to back right on out of there. So both of these teams, Bren, you can expect the real fight to begin once that payload gets out of Car Wash.
Yep, straight away. As per usual, the Car Wash will be basically the first checkpoint, the initial checkpoint that they need to get it past. And as soon as that is when the fight really begins. Both teams just, again, poking, prodding, searching for an opportunity. Cruz falls very weak, but thankfully Boombox is there with the heals. But look at that. Sinatra just shreds Sharrett with the Discord all placed on him.
Gray with the good Discord Orb placement. Got into position that assists Sinatraa there, and now Sinatraa piling on. Finds Valtaya with a little bit of help from his friends. And now C9, it's not even anything flashy here, just 2 good pickoffs from Sinatraa, setting the table and throwing eUnited back.
Yeah, and that's really all you really need when it comes to pushing this one in. Still, the defense will come out here by eUnited. They look to try and basically secure this one out, but space is definitely there. He's on the Soldier 76, laying down the damage from the high ground. You see, notice that eUnited, they tried to try and test that high ground away, try and take the space away from Space himself, but didn't quite work out for them. And Nevix just going absolutely ham on the point, kills for days if the Swift Strike resets.
And this is now a little bit scary, where split spawns aren't playing. We do have a taker there early on, and we have some squats going on, where I appreciate for C9 the part where they don't neglect lower body strength, even while playing Overwatch.
That's the case, isn't it? Look at this, the high ground now going to be taken up by Cloud9. They have few odds to work with. Nevix is on his Dragon Blade Ray. Okay, that was the Transcendence forced by the post bomb. Valor, that's actually quite a large play. Nevix, what is going on, man? What's happening? Oh my goodness.
That's Nevix saying, Cruz, you're not the only one with a great Dragon Blade highlight. Oh my word, eUnited cut to ribbons at the blade of Nevix.
Yeah, can we get a replay for that one, please? I'd love to see how that happened. That was redonkulous, man. Into the back lines. Nevix, 1 Dragon Blade, that's all he needs to almost get a team wipe.
Well, eUnited right now, let's see if they can get some stabilization here in hangar phase. Cruz has a blade of his own. Will he say that anything you can do, I can do better? He is in the back. It's 3-1 for eUnited, and though the blade from Cruz itself wasn't the most damaging part, it bought enough space, and C9 will have to reset.
United, again, a good successful defense there. Unfixed gets the final bullet there into the back of Mozaza. He tries to just jump off the cliff. Didn't quite work out for him. Now, eUnited, what have they got to work with here? Unfixed has a tactical visor. Realistically, if Cloud9, I imagine Unfixed is going to be positioned on top of the space shuttle. If they don't bring him down, which indeed he is, that could be problematic, because if you let a soldier get free reign up there, it's a real troubling scenario, because he can just tactical visor and just mow down your entire team. Cloud9, that's the game plan for them. They want to initiate onto the top of the shuttle, force him back, then take a superior team fight.
All right, the stage has been set, but eUnited looking for the early engage. Sound barrier, meeting sound barrier here early on. Both teams enjoying the beats, but now the protection is gone and the real fight has begun. Unfixed with the visor, not getting too much here early on. Under pressure, eUnited poked down as C9. They are looking like they will take this fight and move their way right into third.
The entire fight was so bizarre. Sinatraa was just waiting onto the cart, pushing it in while the team fight was kicking off. And although Morte, you know, he's going to try and get that last minute stall in, this will be the checkpoint here for Cloud9, and they've got 4 minutes to work with. The forward spawn's getting cut off as well. Morte falling, Boombox dying. He actually has to jump off the edge of the cliff. This means the cart's going to get a significant amount of distance.
That was perhaps the worst time split spawn they could have had in that situation, which means that C9, who, remember, they just have to get to the yellow box victory here. There's no extra rounds. If they do, C9 now has momentum moving into last.
4 minutes to work with. Cruz wants to answer back. The Swift Strike will bring down Nevix in the end, and it has built up enough of his ultimate to get the blade in hand. But will he use this? Not just looking for an opportunity, and he does find it onto Boombox. Still, the peel was there by Unfixed, but quite enough. He's going to heal himself up, and pretty equal trades across the board from both these teams. Neither side really committing to it. Sinatraa goes for a little bit of a play out. The force pump doesn't work out in his favor.
All right, C9 not backing out here just yet. The blade out from Nevix, fresh from the respawn. Piling on is Cloud9. Sinatraa and Nevix setting the stage on flanking DPS. Well supported by their tanks, and Bren, they're not stopping here just yet. eUnited's gonna have a bit of trouble getting out of spawn and setting up Cruz for this next fight.
Yeah, remember, they only have to push it up to the yellow box that's on the floor here. Then now they gotta be pushing this one in. Valu gets a crucial pulse bomb. That's big. It's onto Grey. That takes out the support out of the equation. Now Cloud9 have to back off here, even with Space getting the follow-up kills. Missing their Zenyatta player. Is this still going to be doable for them? Sinatraa is just trying to make plays in the back.
Well, Sinatraa does what Sinatraa wants to do. Sometimes it works out, sometimes you end up getting forcibly put back to spawn. One thing I think is worth noting here is that Cruz has been giving a lot of stability to eUnited here by taking down Nevix and Genji on Genji battles here the last 2 fights. If he lost those Genji versus Genji setups, it's very likely that C9 would have been able to get the momentum they needed to finish this out. So we'll see if Cruz can continue containing Nevix here as this next fight begins.
He needs to go huge now with this Dragon Blade. The cart starting to get contested a little bit. He does find the kill onto Great, and again, picking up that Zenyatta player. Crucial. No more Discord Orbs, no more healing for him, and Cruz is finding the picks with the rest of his team there. Sinatra realistically should back off. That's so greedy to go for Boombox there, but he does pick up the kill. He may actually fall for this. Cloud9 goes for it. Sinatra tries to bait him around the corner, but he will survive for the time being. Now, this cart, Sinatra wants to go for this. He has a pulse bomb in hand, ZP. Will he find the opening?
He's looking for it, gets Voltaya, no bomb required! The Discord Orb came from downtown. That enabled that pickoff early on, and suddenly C9, off of Sinatra, who could be described as brave or crazy, is now finding their opportunity here. But Cruz, late in the back, gets contained by 4 members of C9. I guess that's the way it took.
He bought a lot of time though, and now that is going to be buying time for the Self-Destruct to be coming out and committed. Unfixed picks up 2 brilliant kills, exactly what eUnited needed to try and defend this one out. Space has no choice but to back off, but he's desuited, he's demeched, he's got to run to the cliff, or does he decide not to? No, he's just going to change back, change heroes and get back into the mech the old-fashioned way. Now, this is actually surprising because funnily enough, eUnited are doing this. There's a minute on the clock for Cloud9 to push this one in, and it's actually being done.
eUnited has bought themselves a lot of time, but now this is the case where it's probably going to have to be someone other than Cruz to have the big play here in this fight, or Voltaya even. They don't have those flanker ultimates up. Nevix has a golden opportunity, and he can even go out through Transcendence, because here's a Transcendence, and now Nevix dives right in.
Look at this Transcendence going to use Nevix with the Dragon Blade. Going to get counteracted by this Transcendence heals, so he's not actually going to get any value out of it, but it's a slow ultimate by eUnited. Popped up looking for the opportunities. Pulse Bomb used as well will contribute to the demech of Unfixed there into the final moments of this fight. Unfixed still trying to hold on for dear life here, is still out of the mech, but still Cloud9 are really just nailing this one home, attempting to. Nevix gets brought down. It was a cutesy little play with the Shuriken, but eUnited still holding on. Now, Sinatra, he's got to go for something big here.
Sinatra right now looking for it and finds it. There was no safety there for Boombox. C9 coming in for pressure here once more, but you need to contain Cruz. The last 4 to 5 fights, it's always been Cruz getting the first kill.
My goodness.
This time though, it's Voltaya pulling his weight. 5 on 5 right now. C9, the final opportunity. They're moving into the payload.
Mozaza falling there initially is absolutely brilliant for them still. Overtime now coming down. Cruz whips out the Dragon Blade. He's going ham. He picks up 2 kills for his team. They're all dead. The overtime finally going to be crawling down to a crisp. Sinatra, again, the last man standing. Mozaza tries to just stagger it out as long as he possibly can. But realistically, that'll be it. That'll be all she wrote. With that, it'll be eUnited claiming a map.
eUnited evening things out there towards the end, but because Volskaya was a draw, C9 will, of course, be taking the series. I gotta say though, Bren, we talk a lot about the players on eUnited, and Cruz had a massive game there towards the end where just about every fight, he was outplaying Nevix, he was getting the first kills required, with Dragon Blade, without, didn't really seem to matter.
Cruz is one of the key pieces for the eUnited squad time and time again. In fact, there's so many star players on the side of eUnited for them to really perform well. But the trouble is C9, Sinatra was a problem throughout this game, throughout entirety. Maybe not for Gibraltar. I felt like they almost clocked him to a degree because Sinatra was getting quite cocky. But again, the game was already won for them when it went to that map in the first place. So maybe they were taking it a bit more casually. Who really knows?
Well, the people who might know, we're going to throw it over to the desk where they can break down one of the closest matches we've seen in EU Contenders here to date.